And that's when now things started changing.
Fantastic. So we were talking to him about how we see youngsters in Kenya, all of them running to school. So he says he did that too. In the morning, run 5 kilometers to school, and then in the evening back home. But there were days he ran home for lunch too. And the worst part was after his stomach is full to run back to school. And as usual in India, we take a lot of pictures. So yesterday we were all excited taking pictures with him, having dinner, and Kabari was asking him, so does it happen when you're walking on the streets in Kenya that you are a celebrity and people come forward to take pictures? He said, no. There are too many champions in Kenya, and we don't get as much importance. So it is fantastic, like a small place in Kenya has so many champions, and in India we're still struggling to get more than what we have. And we also were talking about his training schedules and regime, and you won't believe it if I say he's never used weights to get stronger. So he's used only his body weight. So a few things about what were your strong points for your training. How many times, how many sessions you did. Here most of our athletes do morning and evening. But you had another story saying that you worked only one time, and probably if it's too heavy, you took the next day rest and things like that. So, and your body weight training. So you can tell us something about that.
Well, when I joined high school is when I started working with my coach, Brother Colm, an Irish priest from Ireland, and is when now everything got into place, because we were doing now proper training. We do in Kenya during school holiday, we do 3 sessions, but in the morning it's just nice and easy, relaxing. There's no pressure, and that is when you feel to. In the mid-morning, that is around 10 to around 12 noon, is when we do our main session. And that include, of course, for a track athlete, maybe we go to the track, or we do high speed on the roads, or we do hill walk or fartlek. And then in the evening, mostly we do just easy jogging, relaxing from the hard session in the morning, or during the easy days, in the evening we do flexibility and exercises, because that is the other important area that you have to strengthen. You need to strengthen your body, and your core muscle and everything, because that's what gives you the good posture while you are running. Because techniques, it's also very important how you balance your body. Our coach used to discourage us running from leaning in the front. You have to attack the gravity on the center. So the more good posture you run with, the less energy you use. But if you bend, you use more energy, because the center of the gravity is on the other side. So in a week, I can say we were doing like a total of about 60 to 70 kilometers. And that is for an 800-meter runner. So an average of about 8-10, including all the warm-up and preparation.
Yeah, so we were asking what is the longest distance that you have run as an 800-meter. By the way, he started off as a 100 and 200 meter and a 400 meter, and then slowly graduated to running the 800 meters. So when we asked him about what is the longest distance that you have run, he said 8 kilometers. That's the longest that he's run to train for an 800-meter runner. And it's not required for, sprinters and middle distance runners to run long distances. They say your, fast twitch fibers become slower. So do you have any hopes of getting back to running and maybe do a half marathon?
Well,
the smile says it all, right?
Yeah. But I think it's because of the talent. You know, my muscles are different, and you know, my body weight, everything is made for sprints and the middle distance. I find it very easy to run 800 meters. It's just something that I feel comfortable, and 400. But if I go something like over 6 kilometers in training, I feel like I just want to, you know, to fall down, and I just feel my body very uncomfortable. And I've been trying this one over the time, and even during my best form, when I'm at my best form, but I cannot do more than over 10 to 12 kilometers. It's very difficult. But I can imagine, you know, other athletes, they make it look easy. They can run very consistently for 42 kilometers. And even more than that, there are those who can live 100 kilometers. It's amazing because it's how we are widely spread as a talent. And, you know, in 800, sometimes for those who have watched, and friends normally tell me that, wow, you make it look very easy. You know, it's just like you're not running fast. You have very long stride. It's flowing, you know, you're so smooth. But yes, I told them, well, when you look at that race, yes, it looks easy, but it's not easy. Yeah, so I can say that profession make it look easy. Yeah.
Too. I don't know how many of you have watched the video of him running. You can never stop watching the video. He's very graceful, and even though he's, you know, towards the end, he's giving his best, he still looks graceful. So fantastic, David, to watch you run the video, especially the world record that you created. It was really fabulous. So you are working in the police department. After you came back as the world champion, has your life changed a lot, or it's more or less the same? Because in India, if somebody has to be as good as you, because I know Neeraj Chopra, who won the Olympic medal in javelin for us, his life changed. And he's a superstar in the country. So is it that way for you in Kenya, or it's not much difference?
Well, most of the Kenyan athletes, you know, after they represented the country, of course, most of them had this option of joining mostly the discipline forces. And in my case, you know, after I finished high school, I joined the police. And, you know, most of the time when we go and winning championships, like the national, when we represent the national team in World Championships and in Olympics, we get promotion from the discipline forces because of our achievement. And that is really motivating and really encouraging, because apart from running, you have something else to do. And of course, you know, also as a discipline force, you know, they keep you also in line, because, you know, being in the forces is not just like being a civilian. It's their lifestyle and everything, and what they do out there is different. So that is what I do part-time when I'm not running. And of course, it's really challenging, and it's also encouraging. And you know, to be in the uniform and to work as a police officer, as the world champion, because you can imagine me going and arresting people out there, you know. So mostly I just do office work, because if I arrest somebody, you know, it will be...
They wouldn't dare run away from you, right? You would catch them.
Yeah, they will make fun out of it. Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, you know, we all know that you have to train your best to win a medal at the world level. And you had gone with full confidence that you would do well. But did you know beforehand that you would break the world record? And what was the feeling the next day waking up as a world record holder in 800 meters?
Well, you know, it's always very exciting. And, you know, in London, it was my Olympic debut. And, wow. I can tell you it's one of the events that I went a lot of pressure on my shoulders. One is because the previous world record holder, the Miss, or why did you never won an Olympic medal? Some of them, Seb won silver, even Wilson won silver, but not gold. So they refused to answer that question, and they said, I think the best person who can answer that is David Rudisha. And of course, I was the only active one. So I knew that I had a lot of challenge ahead. And of course, I said, wow, if these guys were record holders and I am the world record holder, does that really mean that if you have that pressure, you might not perform very well when it comes to the Olympic Games? And of course, my father also being an Olympian, and it was my first time, and be the first child to reach that level. I had also another challenge, because when I was growing up as a young person, I used to tell my father, one day I will beat your performance. I will beat your performance because I know, I was very confident that I will beat your performance because I have a chance. You are finished. You are not going to come back again. So you are not going to improve from silver to gold. But I have a chance to improve that to gold. And we used to joke about that, and I keep on reminding him even after that, and it has always been something very encouraging. And I know that sometimes when you have that confidence and you believe in yourself, it means a lot. And if you're working along that line, it means a lot. So it was a very great moment, and I didn't expect, of course, to break the world record, because in 800 meters we are assisted by the pacemaker, and in championships there is no pacemaker. But being a front runner gave me a lot of confidence, because most of the races after the pacemaker I used to run on my own, and sometimes the pacemaker can take me as far as 400 meters, and then the last lap I just calculate and do it by. That also gave me a lot of confidence, and I prepared myself very well, because I missed in 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing after I had a small injury, and I was in high school finishing my Form 4. So I missed that, and I was in good form. I was expecting maybe to be at the podium, but I missed that. So this was a lifetime opportunity. So I prepared myself for the 4 years from 2008 to 2009 to see that I'm in a better position. And that year I gradually ran very few races just to prepare for that moment. And I'm happy that I was very confident. It was a fantastic field, very strong athletes who did their personal best. I think there was no race like that before. It was one of the best 800 meters, and I was glad to break the record in the final, and without a pacemaker.
Yeah, I think it's most important that you have confidence in yourself. He's done his best. His training was fantastic, so he knows he can do it. So if you have a positive attitude and you say you can do it, you can definitely do it. And when you are there, you don't think about others. You run your race, and I think that's the best part. You do your best, and you can achieve what you want.
Absolutely. In the final we were 2 Kenyans, and we had Timothy Kitu, who was a junior, and I remember telling him that you're still young, but I know you are a good athlete. But let me give you a piece of advice, please. Because whenever we were together in the evening with coaches, they used to put a lot of pressure on him, like, you just run behind Rudisha. You just run behind Rudisha. If he takes the front, just be right there in the second. And I couldn't really tell him everybody, but I went and told him when we were just together, like, you run your race. You better run your race, because if you follow me, I think you'll burn out before you finish that race, because I knew I was strong and I was very much ahead of him. And if he could have just followed me, like some of them, they burn out toward the end. And the guy who ended up running very well, And toward the last 100 meters, he was picking and he picked bronze, and it was very...
Failing the dope tests. And is it rampant in your country, or your authorities are taking some steps to see that the athletes don't use too much of the performance-enhancing drugs?
Doping actually is a big problem in our sports, the image of our good sport. And we see that, my country, Kenya, has been at the top list for almost now a decade. It's very sad because some athletes want to cut shortcuts, and this is something that we really discuss, and it's bad. And I think so many seminars educating the athletes about that, the effect and everything with it. You can't. So you're just wasting your time because you're spoiling the name of the country. You are spoiling your name and your reputation and your life and everything for something you cannot succeed with. And it is a way of, I can see athletes put a lot of effort to train and to be in that level. And when you steal their honors, it is very sad. I can imagine, in the previous year whereby some athletes take honors of being at the podium and they have cheated. And after some years, you hear that they have been disqualified and they have been taken their medals. So you can feel the emotion that somebody was denied, or somebody who honestly was supposed to be there was denied that moment, and you cannot go back. Even if you can be given that medal in a place like a sporting event like this, it doesn't feel like when you receive it, it's not the same when you're on that podium on the track. So it is very sad, and we really discourage, and we tell our athletes to run with integrity and to lose with honor, because that is more important.
Yes, definitely. No shortcuts to life. You want to achieve something, you have to, work hard, be positive, and have, super determination to do well. Maybe the last question, David. Now that you're retired from active running and due to injury, that's sad. We would have loved to see you run for a couple of more years and probably break your own record, but everything is not in your hands now that you're injured. What plans do you have to help the young athletes in Kenya? And is your training and coaching for the athletes already started, or you are yet to get into that line?
Well, in life, it's like a progress, and as you all may know that running is a short career, and I feel like I'm coming to the end of my running career. I haven't announced it officially, but as the look of things, I think I'm already reaching that point of announcing now. But I know athletics has been part of my life, and I've always had fun. I've traveled across the world. I've been to all this continent, and it's because of running. And I started when I was very young, and I put a lot of effort in running and training. And my life has been like training, running, eat, rest, and all that. But now that I'm moving toward other things in life, of course, now I'm working with Athletic Kenya as an executive. Athletic Kenya is our national federation. As an executive, helping in decision making and to see how we can improve our sports. And that is a very critical, critical work. As well as I'm the president of Athletes Commission in Africa. That is also, so I'm more moving into administration, as well as, of course, I have also my job in the police in Kenya, and police being one of our discipline forces that is also in the LOC, that is a local organizing committee of the National Police Service. So I think even after retire, my family is still sports, and that's why everything I do around is just moving around sport, and I feel very confident because this is where I have a lot of experience, right forward now. I told her yesterday that yes, I can coach. With my experience, I can easily coach middle distance because these are the ones that we have been training. I know everything that a middle distance need to do, like sprints and middle distance, because I've been in that field for a long time. I think I have the experience. But, to coach a national team, you need to have, of course, the qualification of coaching level 1 and level 2. And now that I'm going toward the end of my career, I think that should be the next step, because I think also it's good to share the knowledge I have as part of the experience for some years as I'm transitioning toward other things in life.
Yes, knowledge is always to be shared, and the more you share, the more you get enlightened. And hopefully in the years to come, we will see an athlete of David Rudisha winning a medal at the World Championships or the Olympics. David, it was a pleasure to have you here and listen to your intimate stories. And we've learned a lot from your humble stories and a humble background. And it's not really important for us to come from, big backgrounds to win a medal at the Olympic or the World Championships. It's just hard work, determination, and a positive attitude that what you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Can I speak? David, you said you want to start coaching, take it as a career in the coming few years. So is India one of the places where you would like to come and train Indian middle distance and sprint athletes? If you get a good offer, if you get an opportunity to do so?
Well, as a coach, we don't have boundaries. You can coach anywhere, you can coach any athlete, and it's always open, because whoever comes to you and need an assistant, or whoever you can advise to do better in athletic, I think for a coach it's just like a teacher. You don't choose your student. Whoever comes to you with potential, with focus and discipline, I think we are ready to share with them the knowledge and to share the experience and everything, to see that they make and they do better in whatever they want to.
And one more question, sir. It's very difficult to defend Olympic medal. Neeraj Chopra has done it in 2020. What do you think? You defended your Olympic gold. So what do you think? How difficult it is or easy it is for Neeraj Chopra, because the pressure of expectations is always there on an athlete. He's won a medal. So will there be pressure on him going into Paris, or will he be free of, since he has done it before, will it be easy for him?
Well, I can say that, preparing for Olympics, it's one of the toughest journey, because you have to do 4 years preparation and go into one Olympics. And after that 4 years, you have to prepare for another 4 years. That is a total of about 8 years. And you, as you may know that, in 8 years or 5-6 years, there are so many athletes who will come in between there. And this is sports, and it's not easy, to defend an Olympic title. Very few athletes have done that. And there's no guarantee. I can say there's no guarantee, because if even me in 2016, I was a little bit low in terms of my performance. I wasn't that strong like in 2012. I lost already so many races before getting to Rio, but I made sure that I did some good training and making sure that after losing one race, I go back, I try to learn from that and see where do I need to improve. And as you may know that sometimes, losing make you to think and to be strong. more than winning. You know, when you win, you might relax, but when you lose, you go back to the drawing board to see what you need to improve. So that really helped me because I had that capacity, and with the experience of my coach, we really had to work. In fact, going there, people didn't have a lot of hopes in me that I can defend it. But toward the end, I did very good training. I tried to go back to some of my previous training, even though I had a problem. In 2013, I had a keyhole surgery, and in some of my training I can do until I feel I reach some point and my knee used to lock. So after I feel like it is not very comfortable, I stop there. Even if I was doing like a 6 kilometer or 8 kilometer loop, sometimes it started locking in about 3-4 kilometers. So that also interfered a bit with my training. So between 4 years, there's a lot that can happen. So how you work hard and you pray that everything goes your way.
So we have a couple of them here. Request Nidhi and Meera to come onto the stage. We have a small token of gratitude to give you. And I will be calling on teams one by one, so please don't get restless about coming towards the stage for the photos. We will be doing it for everyone who's present here. I request Ashwin, who's heading Energy Work Brands, to come onto the stage for a photo. Can we just have a photo up with both of you, please? Ashwin. Just be there. We want to pick with Rita and Ashwin as well. Please stand. Please be on the stage. We have another ambassador who's walked in now, so. Manisha is collecting her hamper from David. Now David is doing the job for Ashwin. Thank you very much. We have Bhumika here, who does the noble cause of having guide runners, guide the visually impaired runners, and a team of 25 people are running in New Delhi Marathon because of her efforts and her team's support. So requesting David to present the hamper to her.